Do you struggle with patience and maybe have ADHD? Well, regardless, in this video, I'm going to explain to you some ways and some tricks to learn to have more patience. So if this sounds like something you're interested, stay tuned. My name is Lisa, and this is Heal with Lisa Cerise. I'm going through a 30-day transformation, and today is day 8. So welcome here again. If you're back watching, thank you for tuning in. And if you've just tuned in, then feel free to watch my other videos and transform with me. I'd love to have you on board. Basically, I started with exercise and I wanted to post every day of what I'm doing. And my why, my why is I'm wanting to help others out there that are feeling stuck, frustrated, not quite sure. Like they want to make changes in their life, but they don't really know how, or you're just kind of stuck in a rut sort of thing. So I'm just going through my journey, and hopefully it helps you along the way as well. So today with day 8, if you do hear noise in the background, that's my washing machine going like crazy. But anyway, today I am going to talk about patience and learning patience. Now it takes time. You have to be patient with learning patience. Ironic, right? And so this idea came to me this morning when I was putting my lashes on. So I stick my lashes on myself. They normally last about 2 weeks, and it's just something I like to do. I was in beauty, so I know how to do them, and so it's something that makes me feel good, and I enjoy them. Anyway, regardless of that, I was just sticking on a couple and you have to wait for the glue to dry. And while I was waiting, I tried to stick it on, and it didn't quite stick, and so I had to redo it. So I was like, I have to wait for this glue to dry so I can stick my lash on. Now this seems like such a silly little thing, right? But I was like, I'm gonna go get my phone and listen to something in the background so I don't have to wait, or I can fill my mind up with the frustration of waiting. And then I was like, no, stop. Can I just breathe through the frustration right now and be like, this time will pass? Can I be present in the moment and present with what I'm doing and present with how my body is feeling? Which, someone with ADHD, I like talk fast, do everything fast, and I'm normally doing probably like at least 5 things at one time, or like I've got something going. Sometimes I'm listening to an audiobook, I've got music going, and then I start like listening to something else, and I'm like, wow, there's a lot of noise going on. And so obviously I just stop myself and I'm like, hang on, just take it back a little bit. So while I was in this process, I was like, what was coming up in me when I was waiting? And I was like, there was some frustration. So generally, lack of patience comes from frustration. Like we want something fast, we want instant results, and it's sitting in that waiting period that is actually really powerful, because I came to this realization: if I find little things like this frustrating and I can't just sit and be present and like breathe through the frustration, something so small like that, and having to go and stimulate my brain because this is just driving me in crazy silence for like 2 minutes. Now I practice a lot of yoga, so I do a lot of meditating and stuff like that, so I know how to be in silence and how to meditate and be still and quiet for more than 2 minutes. But it is just like I was wanting results, and I was wanting it fast. So, I was getting frustrated because I could be filling my time with learning or something else in the meantime. But then this thought came across my mind, which is basically if I don't have patience for small things and small frustrations, how will I have patience for big things and big frustrations? So I don't know if that resonates with you. If you're similar to me, this won't be for everyone. Some people have like so much patience. But I know as someone neurodiverse, we definitely probably don't have the most patience in the world. So if this resonates with you, I'd love to hear from you. But anyway, I was going to also add a couple of tips that I have learned to how to like stop the stimulation, because we generally have with ADHD, it's like you have low dopamine levels, so you are wanting to be stimulated constantly, because otherwise it's like a state of feeling low. So that's why we like fill our time with like music, and like, I don't know about you, but it's generally like bah, bah, like quite intense music, something that stimulates me, and you know, stimulation for the mind and the brain, and then like the eyes and the ears and everything, like all the senses, just so we can be like, almost just so we can quiet the mind. I don't know about you, but that's sort of what I find. So I'm really learning to quiet the mind and be with these small moments. And how I can also sort of think of another scenario is I'm being a lot more present with my daughter now, and where I would get frustrated with certain things and I would be like, let me just do it for you. But it's actually like taking a moment to be present and really just embrace everything. And if you can embrace, like, in that moment, to be thankful, like, it's actually good through the frustration if you can find a moment to actually be thankful of whatever it is that you might be frustrated with. It might be something that someone else doesn't have and you're actually lucky. Like, you know, I'm thankful for the lashes that I get to stick on, you know, and that I can do it. Just little things like that. So a couple of other tricks and tips that I wanted to mention that I have been really finding grounding and helpful for me. Obviously, breath work. And a really good breathwork technique, which I find I've done a lot of work with, but sometimes when you're practicing out, it's just simply like, you know, long breath in and then a long breath out, and trying to breathe deep into the belly. I was a shallow breather for most of my life, actually. Which actually I realized the connection was when I was a teenager. I didn't like my stomach sticking out, and I developed some eating disorders and stuff like that. And that's when I stopped breathing through my tummy, and I actually started breathing through my in my chest, and it just became a habit because I was always sucking my stomach in. So yeah, I've had to relearn how to breathe. And a great breath is box breathing, when you breathe in for 4, and then you pause for 4, and then out for 4, and then hold out for 4, and then you keep doing that. If that's a little bit too much, then you could just breathe in for 4 and then do like a short pause, and then breathe out for 4 or 8, and do a pause at the end. We're all at different levels, so just choose the level that you're at, and I like breath work will really help, especially in those times that you're needing some patience. Breathing will really help. And I find, because my mind is going, I'm always like counting. The counting helps me while breathing, actually helps me focus on the breathing, because I'm doing something with my mind as well as the breathing. And that's also, if I'm breathing, I'm normally saying in and then out, or sat nan, and then it makes me focus on the breathing rather than all in my head and crazy thoughts and things going around. That's the dishwasher. And so number 2 is notifications, if you can keep your notifications on your phone actually off, or like I put my phone on work mode and people can only call or text me, and then I can still check all my notifications, but they're not binging at me, or I keep my phone on silent a lot of the time, but even the vibration mode gets to me, which some people say turn vibrate on, but if you're anything like me, I lose my phone. So if the vibrate mode is off, then I'm like, oh, I'm never gonna find my phone now. Yeah, so just that's a trick that I've found really helped me during my day to like focus and also learn patience, because patience is focusing on basically one thing and being present with it, rather than, you know, focusing on everything in your surrounding. So I found the notifications, keeping those off, really helpful. Some other things that I've found really helpful is I try not I listen to fun music in the morning to get me going, but there is a point where my body starts going, I kind of have like an internal, and I'm like, oh, I need to turn the volume down, and that's when I'm like, okay, I need to shift and change. And I found listening to sort of more calmer frequency music, or like just more there's some really nice like yoga playlists out there, just sort of some music that's more background music. I've found that really good for me, just coming to more of a state of zen. If I've got like this pumping music all the time, it's great to get me going. It's really good to like help with your like, you know, lift your frequency, lift your vibration, and just be like in a happy state. And look, you know, if you love that music all day, but I know it gets to a point where I need to focus and I need to like pay attention, or I need patience, and I can't have patience with this full-on music going on. And sometimes I also find it hard to think the thoughts in my head, which is the true answers to what we need to do actually come in times of patience. Would you believe that? So those moments of us wanting to fill that void, or fill that like awkward moment of frustration, if we can actually learn to just be still and breathe through it, and know that it's what are we learning from that, then actually you might have some really deep, insightful, like I did through the like this waiting for my lashes to dry. I was like, oh my gosh, patience, that's what I want to talk about. And so I don't know, let me know if this is something that you have found through patience, like having the patience is when you've learned the breakthroughs. Or let me know if you try this and then you're like, oh my gosh, I had this massive breakthrough, or something happened, or, you know, come back and let me know what happened. I'd love to know. And so those are just a couple of tips. There's about 3 there. I feel like this is enough for you to take in. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it as that today. Thank you for being here with me for another video. And day 8, if you've been doing this, I'd love to hear how you're feeling. And if you haven't been doing it, then maybe try. Love and belief, Lisa Cerise. Bye.